Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily, and today I will be reacting to episode 6 of the TV series The Glory. And so where we left off on episode 5 was Dong-yoon's plan was basically coming further together, and now Yeonjin is very much afraid of her secret getting out, that she used to be a bully, and also the fact that the daughter that she has with her husband is in fact not that husband's biological child. And then there's also the issue of the other young woman who they all went to high school with as well, who was a bullied individual, and her death. And they still don't quite know who did it specifically in terms of her parents, but they do still have her body in the morgue. They have not yet officially buried her because they do believe that foul play was involved, and they're not accepting the answer that there wasn't any foul play, that she just happened to have fallen off of that building. And so with that, these group of bullies are now going to turn on each other, because we did see one of her bullies kind of get off in the final seconds of episode 5. So we will see what exactly will be awaiting this group of very bad individuals and what kind of consequences Dong-yoon has in store for them, because she's not really playing around when it comes to these individuals, as she shouldn't, and she's really not letting not one of them off easy, and I applaud her for that. So we're going to see how much further she's going to get in her revenge plot, and I'm wishing for her success. I'm hoping for it, actually, that she's just incredibly successful in all that she tries to do to them, because, you know, they just don't deserve, because the fact is that they're not sorry, and now they run the risk of it ruining their reputation. And so we're going to see how these tables are going to turn on them. So let's really just dive on into it. She's not trying to get you involved in her mess, sir, because it's going to get messy with these people. She might have to do some things that might not be on the technical side of legal, but it's very much deserved. By those people deserve whatever she gonna give them, you know, for all they put her through. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm with my good sis to the end. Regardless, they need to pay. I don't care if it's 18 years later. Oh, so he wants to follow her? Okay then. Whew. I just don't want him to get hurt in the process, because this is a very well calculated plan on our good sis's end, and I do not want him to get caught up in the crossfire. Why are they throwing the rice so aggressively? It's deserved, but still, why is the rice being thrown so aggressively? Still at it in her old age, with the unethics, with supporting her backwards daughter, and calling the woman she bullied, aka our good sis Dong-yoon, a bitch, when your daughter was the one being abusive, both physically and verbally, and terrorizing her for no good reason. Okay. Because I don't want to say once a bully, always a bully, but in these cases of these individuals in this show, yeah, it's very much true. They have not tried to change. They don't want to change. They are still bullies to each other. 18 years later. Like, the craziness. If this man's hair, y'all, every time this man comes on the screen, I am just shocked at what this hair is doing. I'm not sure what it is, if it's a wig or a hairpiece, but why did they do man like that and put him on the screen? Unless it's supposed to be funny, like being a reprieve from all of the drama and the serious tone. But it's working. Whatever they wanted to do with that hairstyle on him, it's really working, because it's distracting me every time he's in a scene. Every time. Man is a handsome actor, but his hair is giving him a comical appeal. I don't know what it is. Yeah, girl, you know he been murdered. You know they got him. When he started talking about the girl that had died, and when they were trying to figure out who had did it last episode, and he must have found out who had did it and told somebody in his friend group, and they killed him. Oh, is he gonna find the body? Oh no. He probably don't even know homeboy dead in his house. So they're making it look like he stole all his stuff and fled the country, pretty much. But what a great actress. Kudos to this woman. Kudos to her, because she's really, really playing this crazy, sick, and sadistic character to the letter. To the letter. She should be very proud of herself. A big old board game of Go. Oh, that's cool. That is dope. Whoever thought of that. It's like when they have the big old life-size chess games you could play in the park. That's cool. Fran, please don't let nothing crazy happen to this woman. I want her to stay in the show as a living character. I don't want them to do a K-drama thing and get rid of a good character, because I love this one. I don't know who these men are, but they're not smart. They're like really petty criminals. So she can protect you. Oh. I ain't gonna cry. This woman ain't gonna make us cry. I just love her. Yeah. That's exactly why. She's not just a good person, she's a great person. Oh, okay. Well, you ain't doing so well yourself, sir, living off your daddy's legacy. It's like, you know, it's like you looking at the mirror. She literally you without the money. I don't know why you fronting. Double eyelid surgery? That sounds painful. Y'all, it's completely off topic, but the fact that there's a such thing as double eyelid surgery, unless monolids are affecting your eyesight, I do not see the purpose of such a surgery, because it's, you know, I wouldn't want to mess with my eyes just for the sake of aesthetics, because I'm like, all shapes of eyes and all eye types are gorgeous in their own unique way. And I don't think that people should be feeling like they'll be more successful or they'll get more opportunities if their eyes are a certain way, because that's pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty insane for people to have to think that way, that, oh, my eyes have to be a certain way, or I won't get this opportunity, or my eyes have to be like this so I could just be the beauty standard. I'm so sick and tired of these societal beauty standards, because it really can make people insecure over their own genetics. And that's kind of insane. But yeah. I do not agree. I don't agree. So Young, before he died, said to him that? That doesn't make any earthly sense. Why he would do that? Why would, or maybe it's not him. I don't understand. Oh. The husband's noticing that the same cigarettes his wife has, this man has. That's not okay. Oh no. Is she having a panic attack? Is she gonna tell our boy everything? If she gonna get an ally out of this man. She gonna get an ally out of this man. Because even if she was just to tell him a little bit, I'm automatically, if somebody was to tell me something like this and what they're planning to do to people that hurt them like this, I'm in. She don't care. And I'm not expecting homeboy to get it, because he's never been in a position in his life where he's been vulnerable to the attacks of others without someone in his family being by his side. Even in his adult years, his mother is still by his side. Her money, if he was to ever need it, is still by his side. His last name, which holds prestige and wealth because of who his parents are, is by his side. That's not the case for our good sis, don't you? It's not the case at all. They weaponized the fact that she didn't have money. They weaponized the fact that her mother was money hungry. They weaponized the fact that she didn't have a father that was present in her life. They weaponized the fact that she was vulnerable and she was young and that they had money. They weaponized all these things against her and tortured her psychologically and physically and got the school, the members of the staff in the school, to go along with it. Of course, this man wouldn't understand because at the end of the day, this man is a nepotism baby. And it's very hard for some people who are the product of their parents' hard work and who have had things handed to them, whether they realize it or not, whether they want to acknowledge it or not, because of who their parents are or who their parents know or how much money their parents have, that when they're told a story like this, they sometimes will respond like this, to where, like, why are you trying to get at them? You're here. You're here. You can be living and scarred at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. She's alive, but she's very much scarred from what they did to her, literally, mentally, and emotionally. There's just triggers that she has in everyday life that she wouldn't have had they not did what they did, or had she have gotten justice back then 18 years ago. And the fact that all these years later, they're still the same evil, crazy people, if not worse, that they were in high school, is definitely not sitting well with anybody, let alone the victims of their violence. The fact that their bullying got someone literally killed. The fact that she could have been someone who was killed if she didn't choose to keep going. If she didn't keep choosing that she would make a plan to get them back. That was her purpose for living, was this revenge. So I want her to have it. And I'm like, I don't care if this man understands, because that's why she didn't really want to feel you in the first place, because she knew once you heard the story, you just wouldn't get it. And he's showing it now. He's just not getting it. And so she might have to leave this man behind. But, you know, it was nice to have him on the scene while it lasted, but he ain't giving ally.
할게요.
What?
할게요, 망나니. 같이 줄게요. 말해봐요. 뭐부터 해줄까요? 어떻게 해줄까요?
Oh, maybe he does get it. Maybe nepotism baby is learning. Just maybe.
누구부터 죽여줄까요?
Oh. Okay, sir, I don't know if you're supposed to jump straight to that. But yes, he has the right idea. He has the right idea. He has the right idea. So, okay. So maybe our nepotism kid does understand. But it took him seeing her scars to understand. You know, it shouldn't have taken that, but at least the progress is here. At least he's on board with our Good Sis. And she has more people to join her fight. Because these people need to pay. I want them to be knocked down. 6 feet under. All of them. Because even when they showed it in episode 1, her scars, and they showed it a couple of times in the other episodes as well, they didn't look, well, they did look extensive, but you didn't get to see the full view until this episode. And yeah, if I saw somebody that I didn't know who had these marks on them, I'll report it, because it's a sign of abuse, a sign of bodily trauma, physical violence against someone. Emotional damage can be linked to that as well. For somebody that I didn't even know, if I saw that, and if they felt comfortable, I would report it. So the fact that she's been walking around with these scars and she can never escape them, then I don't believe that the people, I know for a fact that the people that did it should never be able to escape whatever she has coming for them. I'm glad that Moon Young got killed. Happy for it. He didn't deserve it. to be alive for as long as he was living after he got away with hurting her. Yeonjin, I hope she gets hers. Other homeboy and other homegirl, I hope they get theirs as well, because they're violent criminals that need to be in jail. They're violent criminals. And the law only will do so much, I guess, until you have to take it on your own. And it's really unfortunate that that's sometimes the case, but at least she knows. At least she knows, she's aware of the path that she is going on, and she has recruited people who are aware of the path that she is going on and are down to support her through it all. And I'm happy about that. I'm glad that they're showing it because it needs to be shown. We need to see the consequences of us ignoring as a society, because it's on all of us. That we as a people within a society, we have the power to vote for people. We have the power to speak up. And when we choose to stay silent, things like this happen to innocent people. When we choose to put people with money on a pedestal that they're not worthy of having if they're not decent human beings, I'm talking about the bare minimum of human decency. If they're not even meeting that level, why are you putting them on a pedestal? Why are you acting like their money can negate their evil? Why are we acting as a society like when people say that this person hurt me, just because this person is connected to someone with money, we'll say, oh, we can ignore it, or we can dismiss it, or just sign this and they'll give you this money and that'll make up for all the trauma they did to you. Why is society so geared to doing that instead of prosecuting people and solving the root of the problem? And I'm glad that this show is showing that. All that needed to be done was these kids held accountable. Regardless of the craziness of their parents, if they were held accountable the correct way, they wouldn't have gotten this far in life, being the way that they were. Because they would have known that my actions will leave me in jail. My actions will ruin my life. But because they were shielded by money, and people didn't want to do anything further because, oh, they're a wealthy family or they're well connected. So what? When does the wealth and the connections prevent you from being a bad person? Since when? Never. It's never stopped people from being bad people. So I'm glad that this show is talking about it, and I want to know where it's going to go in season 7 now that we have an actual doctor in this revenge plot, because he's wealthy, he has connections, and he can get people in rooms that regular civilians might not be able to get in rooms. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm rooting for my good sis, Dong-yoon. I'm rooting for her. I'm rooting for her and everybody who stands with her to succeed and to not be killed off in this season, in this part of the season, or the other second part that's coming in March, because we got 2 more episodes, episode 7 and episode 8, before that's it until March of 2023. I'm hoping that they don't pull a bunch of craziness in episode 7 and 8 to where none of these characters that are standing beside her are written off. I don't want that. But, it's a K-drama. With K-dramas, you can't really predict how they're going to write it sometimes. You can assume, but I'm just hoping they don't do that. Because they did that before in a show called He is Psychometric, and you thought, because everybody was on the poster, that they would all live to see the end of that show. And that's all I'm saying about it. My good sis in that show did not live to see the end, her character, at all. And I'm like, I did not sign up for this, and I couldn't even finish it. That was why it was so crazy. I was like, it was so crazy. I was not expecting them to write her off. And I couldn't even finish the rest of the drama. I couldn't even. And even in Harang, when V from BTS was in it, like Harang, the Poet Warrior Youth show, like people said, like when it first came out, there were some negative things that people said, but I thought it was decent. I liked it. But it had Bok Seo-joon in it as well. Same thing. V's character in the show, spoiler alert, dies at the hands of his own brother. I was just like, why? I wanted everybody to make it to the end, but I think they had to write him out because he had to do some activities with BTS. But still, they could have said he went on vacation or went somewhere else outside of the school. They did not have to kill him off, but that's what they did. And I have not been trusting K-dramas ever since, because that, I had to pause. I had to not look at, like, I couldn't watch the show for a month, and then I was able to finish it. So yeah, I don't want them taking any of the good characters here. I do not want them to do that. But I'm gonna still watch it either way, because I want to see my good sis win and overtake these bullies and destroy them and obliterate their lives in all shapes and forms of that sentence. I want that. I want that for her. That is just a little tiny smidge of the closure she deserves for what they did. And I want that for her. But yeah, if you have stayed until the end of this video, thank you so much. And if you are watching this video on YouTube, please do not forget to like this thumbs up icon, the like button, press on it, to comment what you think is going to happen in episode 7 or 8, or what you think the season is going to turn out to be once all 16 episodes are aired, and also what you thought was the most interesting scene or most interesting bits of information, or if you think I missed some information, let me know in the comments. And also don't forget to subscribe to see more reactions to The Glory, the series. And then also don't forget to check out my other reactions as well. And also, if you are watching this from YouTube, please don't forget to check out my Patreon, because on YouTube, this will be a very short reaction. It'll be between 10, possibly to 20 minutes, no more than 30, depending on how I'm able to edit it. It will not be the full version, just because copyrights. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you will notice that the video is blurred. I'm not trying to get in trouble with Netflix. It's blurred. Only thing you can see is subtitles, but you can hear the audio though. But the only thing you'll be able to see is subtitles on YouTube, just because I'm not trying to get no copyright strike from Netflix, because it is their intellectual property, etc., etc. I'm not trying to get into that. So you'll be able to see the full version of The Glory, episode 6, on my Patreon. I will link the Patreon below, and you'll become a patron, and you'll be able to watch my full reaction in full with no blurring, really no editing, just a whole full episode if you wanted to see that. And until next time, I do wish y'all to be your best and to do your best, because that is the best we can do, and to keep smiling and to keep shining in your own way, and to know that if things aren't going the way that you want them to go, that they will eventually be going the way that you want them to go. Just give it time. And until next time, I will see y'all. Bye.